In Grandmaster Arcanist chapters 11 through 15, alliances shift, secrets unravel, and characters brace for transformation. Adelgis's magic may have deepened thanks to the Abyssal Leech, while Volke begins to challenge Orwyn's unwavering devotion to the Gold Kirin. Liet, resilient as ever, entrusts her guild to Volke before setting off for New Nora seeking answers. Amidst mounting tension, celebrations erupt. Vethica's return sparks a chaotic party hosted by the Atty family, where old friendships and grudges resurface. But beneath the revelry, the Frith Guild's fortress crumbles, and crucial members must be found. As Atty prepares to embark on a solo journey to claim her true form, Volke reminds her that her destiny is her own, not a shadow of her mother's past.
Hello and welcome back to the Frith Guild podcast. I'm your host, Eric.
I'm co-host Scott.
And today we're going over chapters 11 through 15 of Grandmaster Arcanist. Before we get into today's episode, we do want to remind everybody about the Frith Chronicles Wiki link, along with the Capital Station Discord server, so you can go and join on conversation there. We have Dragon Con nomination deadline of July 19th, so go vote if you haven't. And the last thing I want to mention is Crown Tournament 3 will be releasing in about a week and a day from this posting. It just kind of snuck up on me. So super excited about that, getting our last installment of Crown Tournament. So definitely going to be looking forward to that here in about a week and a half. And with that, we'll get into today's episode.
We start with chapter 11. Volke is meeting with Orwyn. This is the gathering of the lords. So we've got 5 god arcanists in this tiny little building. Orwyn asks to speak to Volke alone, and when he goes in there, she gives this like a door-to-door sales pitch on like, you should join the Autarch, and pretty much just justifies that like, well, he's got a gold Kirin, so whatever he does is going to lead him to greatness, not even thinking that like greatness could be a negative thing. As they're talking, it almost seems like she's scared of the Autarch. She doesn't really have like a lot of respect for him, but it's more like, oh, he's gonna kill the Apoc dragon. But I'm more concerned with Egha and the Keeper of Corpses, and she's not really fully bought in by the sounds of it.
I don't think she was fully bought in on the concept of the Gold Kirin is going to bring greatness either.
No, it felt like that's kind of what she had heard, but in practice she was seeing things that did not add up. She was not happy with Reese's treating of like the villagers and using them as cannon fodder, so she'd kind of seen what the real world is actually like. Through some more discussion, Volke actually converts her to their side, which I think was quite the long shot from where they started this conversation, but I will take all the power we can get. And she does let on this little piece of information that they were able to use the Abyssal Leech to alter the plague, so now it's not only able to infect god creatures, but also able to infect true form arcanists.
No.
Yes.
It's confirmed.
Yes. It was. The worry was there, and it's the true form arcanist in our midst that is sick and is very concerning.
I know when I was first reading through this section that as soon as that was confirmed, I just about had my heart stop because Liet is confirmed now to have the plague because of this. And
I know.
We just get something and then it gets taken away from us.
Yes, and now god creatures are at risk for the plague as well, which takes away one of the huge advantages that they had fighting Second Ascension, is that they were immune to it.
And with that, we get into Chapter 12, the Abyssal Leech's purpose. So there's some speculation around the fact that Adelgis's magic is probably gotten stronger because of the Abyssal Leech. Now, we know when he had it attached to him, it was weakening him because it was sucking on his soul. But I think it kind of gave him some of its abilities, some of its power, some of its magic in the same way. So we think that he's the strongest ethereal Welk Arcanist because of this. Volke kind of chips away at Orwyn's blind faith to the Gold Kirin. Again, she gives the line of, well, he's destined for greatness. He's not destined for good, he's not destined for evil, but for greatness, something. He's going to be the greatest leader. We don't know what that means, though. He could be a leader of evil, who knows? It's like, obviously, this is kind of the direction we're feeling him going. With Liet getting that confirmation that she is, in fact, infected by the plague, she does a very good job about taking this in stride. And what she doesn't do is she doesn't throw her guild pendant away. I think ultimately, though, she's just relieved to know, one way or the other rather than not knowing for sure. She's taken her steps to cordon herself off and quarantine herself. Again, I think there's a little bit of relief knowing that there's the problem. She does decide at this point that she's just going to go to New Nora, and she has faith in Volke to find a cure because it's Volke. He's going to find a way. She also essentially gives Volke control over the guild so that he can run it while in her absence. And realistically speaking, I mean, he's been making the decisions for the guild for quite a while now. We just hasn't been so blatant with her being present.
Much more of an official title than being duties at this point.
Right.
We do get into chapter 13, so as we're coming back, TK now has 25 dryouts.
Yay!
So happy. Eviana comes out to Volke and is absolutely livid about his lack of communication. He just storms off. He doesn't even send a messenger to her. She just finds out kind of through the grapevine that he's off gallivanting on side quests, and I kind of side with her on this one.
Me too. I completely agree with her.
Yeah, Volke has not been great about letting her in, not just on plan details, but general plan of when he's going to be available. She's just waking up and they're like, oh yeah, he left. So very tough for her. We also find out as they're making their way back that Yevon ended up killing a cat so he couldn't be used against the plague. And we also find out that Yevon is Adelgis's brother and probably the one who is most loyal with these.
Douchebag.
No, the worst. We also find out, on a happier note, that Hex's family is very excited for Vethica to come back, and they're throwing her a party because this town needs more parties.
Yes.
They'll take any excuse. They just want a party.
Sounds like a bunch of Marines. Oh, it's St. Patty's Day party. It's Valentine's Day party. Moving into chapter 14, the Arcanists of the Frith Guild. Here we go to party. We go over to the Deteni family hosting the main party, and everybody is completely sloshed, and Volke is the only one sober again. Not surprised there. The destruction that has occurred in the fortress has to be absolutely insane because they probably don't care. They're just having a good time.
Yeah, they give zero.
So Volke, having this information, needs to share it along with everybody else. He starts to gather the members of the Frith Guild. Ilya happens to be the designated driver tonight, and she is absolutely refusing to let Nicolin drink along with Zaxxas. Because we know what happens when Zaxxas and Nicolin get drunk together.
They're dangerous enough sober.
Right. And then you move on to, what happens if I can, teleport into you and then, move... Don't want to know. They talk about the paper lanterns that they have hanging, and they are the purple hydras. I love these just little small touches that Shammy does to make her world feel more fleshed out and not just move here, move there. Here's the room that they're in. I know it seems small.
It builds a little vibe.
Yeah. We know that these people are absolutely proud of being Hydra Arcanist, Hydra, in that Hydra Gorge. And just having those lanterns give that a little extra. Volke needs to go outside, get some air after everything that is going on at the Deteni fortress. And he comes upon Linus, and he is keeping his distance, and he's sulking out on the patio there. I don't know. I think Linus is still kind of beat himself up.
He has not fully accepted his role. It seems more like he understands that he had to take it or it was the best option, but he's not happy about it, and he still feels almost like it's taking him farther away from his goal, which still seems to be death. So it's a very mixed vibe, and it's very tough to figure out where his head's actually at.
Yeah, Volke wanders into one of the inns that are in Hydra's Gorge and spots Riker and Moss, and Riker's kind of just sitting on his own, got the single candle on the table, and I imagine probably had some glasses of wine ready, setting the mood here for Karna. Good for you, man.
He's making moves.
Hey, he's doing more than Volke ever did.
That's for sure.
As he's talking to Riker about what he's doing there, Riker just starts to stumble all over his words about Viking Karna, and that's basically that Karna reminds him of their mother. And it just kind of slowly derails even further from that, as you would probably expect, because you never would want to compare your spouse, significant other, whoever, to your parents. That's the last thing you want to have that image of.
Neither him nor Volke are good with words.
No. This must be a family thing.
Yes.
And I love to see that Riker is getting more confidence with himself. He's kind of stepping into this role a little bit quicker, a little bit faster than what Volke did. I imagine Moss being a very large part of that, because she's, one step below the god creature, but one step above the dragon tier 4, so 4.5. So definitely have a really big backer behind you.
Brings us to chapter 15, a true form phoenix. So Volke does go to see Atty again. She was too busy to even really go to the party, and she says that she essentially wants to go on adventure on her own. That's how Volke got his true form. And similar to what Callisto told her, just being comfy in the guild is not going to lead to her getting a true form. She needs to actually go out there and have some real experience and experience some of the rebirth that the Phoenix is known for. So she is leaving the guild, throws away the guild pendant, and Volke kind of reiterates to her after she's losing that, like, hey, you're not your mom.
Like, we were so close of somebody not throwing their guild pendant away.
And again,
I feel like there almost needs to be like a counter of number of days without losing guild pendant.
Yes, and we're at 0, so
set the clock back to 0.
And the other thing that I do think is funny is we just saw in the previous chapter, Riker gets into this little bad spot because he compares to his mom, and then Volke, the same next chapter, goes in and compares Atty to her mom, which also does not go well. Neither of them knows. They both are just yeah, mom's good for us.
Words.
Yeah, there's a lot of word vomiting going on.
And with that ends chapter 15 of Grandmaster Arcanist. Catch us next week as we go over the next 5 chapters, 16 through 20. And again, want to remind everybody to be on the lookout. Crown Tournament 3 is going to be really soon. Yay! More Kieran. All right, with that, Scott, did you have anything else you'd like to add this week?
No, just very, very excited for round 3 of the Crown Tournament.
Absolutely. All right, we'll catch you guys next week.